So you've been calling it a religion. Given that religions, as we currently know them, all are fading from popularity, why aren't you using some other descriptor, like you mentioned, life-wise philosophy, or something that is more acceptable to people in general that are not frightened of the term religion?
Yeah, well, so the original conception of the idea that went back to an afternoon on the 18th of August 2016 was that looking at world religions, what I thought was we actually need a religion that's devoted to Gaia or to nature, whereas all of the other religions are devoted to God. That was the original conception of the idea. And I wrote an article and I posted the article about this on LinkedIn. And then I went on and did something else, forgot all about it. But a few days later, I was contacted by a guy in Malaysia that invited me to speak at an international event. And the subject that I was speaking under was gods and canons of the New Age. And so I had 2 months to prepare. So I just went through the process of actually creating the religion that I'd conceived of in the article, and then went and did my presentation and continued to work on the idea in 2020, registered a charity as a registered religious institution. So that's where it came from. What I realized then was, as you were saying, a lot of people have a knee-jerk reaction to the word religion, whereas I'm not talking about religion in the way that it's normally conceived with the God and the church and all of that palaver. What I'm talking about is, when I say religion, I'm talking about the definition of religion is from the Charity Commission, the Australian Charity Commission, is a belief in a supernatural and the acceptance of canons of conduct to give effect to the belief. Supernatural covers a great deal of territory. Yes, it includes God, so there's your Christians and so forth, but it also includes following a football team. The football fans have exactly the same characteristics as people that go to church, but football clubs aren't registered religious institutions. So when I say religion, I'm speaking of it in that sense, in the sort of the deep love, passion, and following of something, as opposed to the institutionalized ancient religions of, the mainstream religions. Now, with all that said, I realized in the early phases of working on Vita that a lot of people found that idea difficult or not palatable. And so I realized that there was a broader piece of work to be done, which was like the broader philosophy. And so then I started writing this work as life-wise philosophy. That was the term that I used. And I've gone sort of backwards and forwards with the religion philosophy thing. I'm trying to find a way to make this information accessible to people. I don't want to put them off in the first instance. And so the way it's framed at the moment, so what I'm doing, I'm in Cambodia now visiting Angkor Wat. I'm in Siem Reap.
Yep.
And what I'm doing over here is I'm writing Vita Sapien philosophy book. So it'll be about 50,000 words. And it's framed as a philosophy, but there'll be one little section in there that says, if you take this piece and you take this piece and you follow it, then that is the practice of Vita religion. So we're just trying to reframe the whole concept to focus on the philosophy side of it. And for those people who understand my perspective of religion, then they'll find that there's a non-threatening piece of religion in there. The two pieces, if I can say, are the belief in Vitae Planeta, which is the idea of the biosphere being a single organism, which is something you can hold as a spiritual belief, but you can't prove scientifically. So it meets the supernatural test. And there are 10 practices written in the book, which are good practices, whether you're a religious person or not.